Hello, I just wanted to take a few moments to go over your group design protocol with you to make sure you fully understand the assignment and hopefully clear up any questions that you may have. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to read the group design protocol assignment instructions that you'll find linked in the assignment description. When you open that document, you will find the different protocol models and populations. You were assigned which one of these populations that you are to use with your group assignment in the announcement. So if you are not sure who that is, who those people are, or what your model and population is, please go back and check the announcement for that information. So when you begin with your group, you're going to want to research the population and the model that you were given, and you're going to identify an appropriate group activity or session that you could do with them. Now, one thing I want to caution you on is that you need to make sure that the activity that you choose is something that you can purchase the required supplies and materials to be able to actually act out this group design protocol in your lab, because that is one of the expectations for this assignment, is that it will be utilized in the lab and you will actually have a competency on your acting out of this group. So what you're going to do with this assignment is you're going to write a group protocol that's going to include the format that you'll see below. You want to make sure that when you provide the protocol that you do so in the way that it's given. So you want to make sure that the information comes in paragraph form when you provide it in your assignment, but you want to use subtitles like the sections are below. So obviously you need to make sure you include your name, then the title of the group. Part of your grade on this is making the title catchy and interesting. So put some thought into that. And then you're going to provide background on your participants. So what are the demographics, their age, their gender, their living situation, and that information is given to you in your assignment, and then you may have to give some additional information based on your research. Then the setting, that information is also provided, and then the needs assessment. So state the need and support with evidence-based practice. So when you're doing your research, you're going to need to look and see what the research says about providing therapy to a person or to persons with that diagnosis in that setting. So you're going to go through each of these areas and you're going to answer each of these areas. So what is your purpose and your goal for the group? What is the group structure, which includes the size, the membership, where it's going to be held, what kind of staff is required, what the supplies and materials are, how you're going to promote and advertise it. Then you're going to describe the session. So you want to start with an icebreaker. Don't just say that everybody's going to say what their name is and why they're there. That's not an icebreaker. That's just an introduction. Come up with a fun icebreaker activity. Then you want to do an activity with the group, not just talk about something. You're not going to tell us about the activity. You want to actually be able to do the activity in your lab. So think about that when you're making these plans. Then you will discuss with the clients or with the group afterwards. They're sharing, processing, generalizing, applying. You need to think about what questions you're going to ask your group members, and that is information that you can obtain from your Coles reading on groups as well as the information in your groups module. Then your group evaluation, you're going to look at, what was the method of evaluating effectiveness of the session? How do you know it worked? What was the impact? How did it change the participants? What was the outcome? How will you measure that? And how will you measure it over time, or is it just going to be something you measure at that moment? Then you're going to need to also provide a reference list. So up above, it asked you to speak about the needs assessment of the group. That's one area that you will definitely need to cite information as far as a resource outside of this document. Then separate from this protocol and in a few brief paragraphs, you want to talk about how and why your team chose this activity and how and why it meets the group goals and fits with your population or treatment model. So once you've done that, we're going to go back here to the assignment description. And you also need to make sure that you submit your group design protocol, reflection on the chosen activity, and this group process evaluation form. And what that is just a brief form that you have to fill out. And I'm waiting for it to load here so I can show it to you. It's a relatively simple form, but it is something that is required for you to do for this assignment. So you're going to provide your name, the group assignment you're with, who your other groups were, and then by the number. So let's say you put Joe in number 1, then student number 1 here, you'll tell me what task they were responsible for. And then when you grade your student peers, you'll do, so if Joe was in number 1, the number 1 column here will be for Joe and how he did. So you'll need to do that for your team. And then the other thing that I want to point out that's in this assignment is that you should work on this assignment as a group in a Google document, and each student should choose a color to type their responses. So when you submit your assignment, you're going to submit it as a Microsoft Word document. So once you're done in Google Docs, you'll transfer it to a Word document, at which point the color coding will go away. However, you'll need to keep the Google Doc with the color code and turn in the link to the Google Doc, and then your color code legend, like who typed in what color. And what that'll do is that'll allow me to see exactly what each person contributed. That way, if there's something that I feel like you guys need to work on or that maybe you didn't understand, I can tell exactly who wrote that portion of the group project. And then just make sure that when you send me the link that you've changed the settings to allow me to view the document. I also highly encourage you with this activity or assignment, as well as any other assignment, to read through your rubric. Make sure that you're looking at what you're going to be graded on. So like as you can see here, your title or your group name needs to be creative and catchy, and it needs to reflect the purpose of the group. You need to make sure you identify your settings, your participants description. So you don't just need to say 15-year-olds with blah, 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 blah. Give me a little more than that. Give me some solid information on who these people might be. So just go through the rubric and look and see exactly what you would be required to do to get top points in each section. Okay. Then as always, if you have questions, comments, concerns, while you're working on this, please feel free to reach out to your instructor and let them know we're here to help. So if you have any questions, please let us know. Have a great day. Thank you.